Did you know that there is a tree in South America that is from the same family as frankincense and myrrh trees? And that this tree has been used since the old times of the Incas to protect the people at home and to chase away the bad spirits? My name is Dr. Ollie, and today I would like to talk to you about a completely underused and, in my opinion, underestimated oil called Palo Santo. So let me first take you on a trip from Texas to Ecuador in South America, to Guayaquil to be specific, Guayaquil being one of the big cities of Ecuador. And then when you drive for about 50, 60 minutes from Guayaquil, you reach the village of Chongong. And this is where you're going to find the Finca Botanica from Young Living in Ecuador. Gary Young created this real paradise years ago by cultivating part of the jungle. And when he was there and driving through the jungles, he found some trees that he identified as being Palo Santo trees. And these are the trees we would like to talk about today. So when you go to the Finca Botanica in Ecuador, you can drive through the rugged land and you're going to get onto a hill that contains the Palo Santo forest. And I am going to tell you quite a few interesting facts about this forest, and I'm going to show you live footage that I recorded when I was in Ecuador. Okay, so here we are in the Palo Santo forest. Palo Santo meaning the holy wood. And what you can do, you can kind of scratch a little bit these trees here, I mean everywhere. You kind of rub it, and you immediately start smelling it. And in fact, it smells almost, the first smell is like almost frankincense or sacred frankincense. And Gary always told me that this is part of the frankincense family. He called Palo Santo the frankincense of South America. And it's really nice smell. Oh my God. Yeah, this is aromatic. And behind me you see what Mary thought was a leftover from an ancient civilization, because it looks like an old wall from like a house or some dwelling. And interestingly, when you walk a little bit with me to the side, you're going to see what that is. And Gary immediately recognized what it was, and he said, that's not a wall. Of course, it's the root of a tree. This is called Palo Santo. It's the holy wood. This wood has been used for centuries. They burned the wood, the old wood from the fallen trees in this area all over South America where they have these trees, and it was purifying the home. It was getting rid of bad spirits. And so this has been historically a very spiritual oil for the indigenous people here in South America and in Ecuador. Now, you would think this is a dead tree, but it's not, because you see this root, although dead up here, still goes into the ground, and so it's still alive. And in fact, today coming out to the farm, I saw one tree like this that had grown in a right angle all the way back up, so it was looking like a right angle L shape. Quite interesting, because you know, it tries to find the sun, so this tree also might still go up and grow again. So it's this tree is at least 8 years old that we know of. I mean, of course, way older, but it was here like that when Gary and Mary first kind of conquered this hill here in Ecuador. You see that the tree is not only having all the branches of Palo Santo, it also grows essential oils. Right, so here it is, Palo Santo. So we're gonna take that off. So it's not that easy to harvest Palo Santo, but this is it. And again, the tip is to open a bottle, because if it's closed, you don't get anything. And it smells slightly differently than when you scratch the branches. So it has a little bit fuller taste when you smell it out of the bottle. Why? Of course, because it's higher concentrated. It's more concentrated. Clearly what they do, they wait until these trees fall down. Now the young one that fall down like that, they put them back up. So they're constantly watching this Palo Alto forest here, and the ground is pretty rocky, so it's not really deep. So the roots, as you see, the roots cannot go really deep. And so it takes just a little bit wind and they come down. So the young one are being put back up so they can keep on growing. And then once the tree is really old and it's really falling down, then they take it to harvest it. The wood, when you take it from the dead trees that are on the floor that they don't kind of resurrect, what happens is the wood really looks wet, and when you touch it, it's bone dry. And what you really makes that impression is the oil. It's really, really rich in oil. So it takes very little wood to create a lot of oil. And what they do, they distill always big batches of Palo Santo wood, and that will last them at least 1 to 2 years. So if you order Palo Santo, it's typically 1 or 2 years old, and then they're going to do the next batch. And down at the farm, there's a whole warehouse where they have these old wood kind of pieces waiting for to be distilled. So this is very nice. Now there's another thing a little bit further back there, so we'll walk down there and I'll explain a little something else. So we are still in the middle of the Palo Santo forest. It's just a holy spiritual place, very, very nice. And that's what Gary always told me. He said not only are these trees very spiritual, when you look at the way these roots look like, just look at this one here. It just like looks awesome. Just what nature did with these trees, and God, how he created that. But then we see all these yellow flowers. Look at that. Look at all the yellow here behind me. Fantastic. And so, you know, we first thought that this is Palo Santo flowers, but it's not. So you see a tree here, all yellow, and that tree is called a Guayacan. And Guayacan wood is really, really hard, has almost no oil, so it's not really something you would distill. But what it's used for is, because it's really hard and durable, it's used to make furniture.
And so here we have just a few trees in between, and they just look gorgeous. You know, when they like yellow, you see this field behind me, they're just gorgeous colors. But there are like entire hills in Ecuador like this that are full of these trees. And it's like when you go in the season to Washington DC to see the cherry blossom, or you go to Japan when everything is in cherry blossom. Here in Ecuador, the people go to these areas where they have these Guayacan trees, and they just make all the picture when everything is, the whole mountain chain is just yellow like this. Just fantastic. But again, we're in the Palo Santo forest, and I will show you now in the next little clip something about how the wood looks like. Okay, we're still in the Palo Santo forest, and here you see some wood pieces, how it comes when the wood, basically the tree dies, and that's how they harvest the wood. And you see they look somewhat moist inside compared to the outside of the tree, who looks really dry. But when you touch it, it feels like, I just smell it. It smells like frankincense. My finger now smells like frankincense. So this is what's going to be chopped in small pieces, and that's what's going to be, you know, chipped, and this is what goes in the distiller. This is how you create your Palo Santo wood. And then when you're done with the distillation and you get your bottles at the end, then they use the material that comes out of the distiller, and you all know that Young Living only distill once and not more time. And so this is what they can use on the fields everywhere, again, to kind of fertilize and grow other stuff, or just you know, use it for good things. So this is fresh dead wood that's going to be distilled, and this is already distilled here.
Now, as I said, the Palo Santo tree is a relative of frankincense and myrrh. It is also known as holy wood. And as I explained, the indigenous people used this wood. They either burned the little wood sticks, or they took the resin, the essential oil basically, and put it on a little charcoal plate and burned it that way. And by smelling the scents of Palo Santo, they believed that they could chase away the bad spirits. Now, these wonderful trees are found in the tropical forests of Peru, Ecuador, Venezuela, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, Colombia, and even on the islands of Galapagos. In the old time, and even today, shamans, the medicine man, will light the sticks and have the fumes of the stick, the smoke, go up to clear the air, clear the house, and clear the area from bad spirits. It is said that the smoke of Palo Santo will remove the mala energia, the bad energy. The essential oil of Palo Santo can be used aromatically in a diffuser or topically on the skin. And it has been used for thousands of years in spiritual ceremonies, in spiritual events, and to chase away the bad energy and the bad spirits around the house, for example. Now, Palo Santo essential oil has an alluring woodsy aroma, and it creates a grounding, calming environment when used aromatically. It evokes positive influences with its inspiring aroma, and it can be paired with a massage for its warm, refreshing frankincense-like scent. And we know from the science that Palo Santo is very rich in the terpenes limonene and alpha-terpineol. And here you see me holding one of these many pieces of woods that has been collected. This is being stored in a storage room for about 2 or 3 years until there's enough wood that has fallen off the branches, and then this wood is being distilled. There are very few studies published about the Palo Santo tree, but those who have been published will indicate that this wood is really rich in limonene. Now, one fact that many people don't know is that you can use Palo Santo essential oil topically on your skin when you go to the great outdoors, because Palo Santo can be used to enjoy the outdoors annoyance-free, let's say it this way, so that it is compliance. But it is a fact that the insects really don't like the smell of the Palo Santo essential oil. So I hope you have learned new things about an essential oils that you probably haven't used that often. And for me, The Palo Santo essential oil is really an underused essential oil, and I hope with the knowledge you gained today, you're going to start ordering and using this essential oil much more often the way I do it. Not just because of its awesome smell, but also to take away the spirits and give you good luck in life. With that, I wish you all the best. This is Dr. Ollie, and enjoy the rest of the symposium. Thank you so much.